Okay. Got it. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for showing up. And I know there's many that's going to catch it, the retake later or the recording later. But anyway, we're so grateful that Eric is going to do this for us. Nothing like the owner himself to train us on his amazing software. So let's, and by the way, too, Eric, you were talking about some other leadership trainings you were doing. Is there any way possible you can share any of those with us, or is that in a different special group?
Yeah, when we get to the end today, I'll let you guys know what's coming down the pike, but because it's coming up soon. So I'll let you guys will be the first to hear about it, which will be pretty cool.
Yay. Yeah. All right. Great. We're in the right place tonight.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. we're going to have some fun tonight. Now, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to literally try to squeeze as much into this time as we can. What I want to do is I'm going to show, how many of you are using Teamzy already? How many of you kind of sort of looked at it and haven't done anything with it yet? Or maybe it's just you have no clue yet. Okay, that's fine. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you Teamzy. I'll show you how to set it up. I'll show you how to crush power hours, how it's going to revolutionize your business, save all the time in the world for you, let you be on top of everything, feel completely in control. How many of you guys, it sounds great? Okay. But I'm also going to teach you some of the philosophy, because you need to understand it's more than just software to make your life easier. It's an approach. It's a heart-centered approach to the business. I need to share that with you because it's really important. Okay. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about relationship marketing. Then I'm going to show you Teamzy. And then if you still want to talk to me more, I'll hang on for questions. Sound good? Okay. And we are recording. So if I'm going really fast and you're like, oh my gosh, what was that? Don't worry, it's recorded. You guys will have the opportunity to rewind later. Okay, let's see here.
I'm gonna mute myself, Eric. And so if I need to, because I do have a French bulldog and she may be tearing through here at any minute.
No worries. So everyone has the ability to unmute. So if you feel the spirit move and you need to interrupt, go ahead. But I am recording. And also, Jody, I made you a co-host. So if people come into the waiting room while I'm presenting, just go ahead and let them in, because I won't be looking for that once I get going. So this is what I want to talk to you about first: how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. See, there's three pieces to it. One is, to be successful, you got to have a system. You got to have a system. Not only do you need a system, but a system makes it something you can duplicate with downline when you bring them on. I'm going to teach you about relationship marketing, which is the most effective lead generation approach in the business. And I'm going to show you how to do it in less than an hour a day, so you can be a power hour boss. You with me? Okay. Just my background. I am the owner and creator of Teamzy, but I'm an author, wrote a book called Power Hour Boss. See, are you guys excited? You're going to be power hour bosses. My background is actually not network marketing. I've been a professional business coach and consultant for 20 years, almost 21. And I've been helping people build relationships-based businesses. I fell into the network marketing groove by accident about 7 years ago, just because I wanted a little side hustle for myself. Can I get an amen on that? At the time, I was working for a pretty large consulting company, and I loved my job. I loved helping business owners build their business, but I felt a little bit stuck. I wanted to make a little more income, but I was at the top of my career. I had nowhere to grow. Also, I wanted to have more time in my life, more flexibility, so I could be with my family. And I know a lot of you can relate to this. Here's a shot of the fam. I was always working. I never saw my family. I was constantly working. And so I wanted something that would give me flexibility, but at the same time, I wanted a little more income. And so I started looking at network marketing. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You can start your own business with no investment. You could create a 7-figure income. I mean, right? It's a no-brainer. The challenge I had then was, how am I going to fit this into my already busy life? And so I struggled with the fact that I could really only dedicate an hour a day to my business, because I still had to work. I still wanted to spend a little bit of time with my family. And so I started looking for tools to help me leverage that time so that I could get it done in an hour a day. I knew what needed to be done because I coached people on this all day long. The question was getting it done in an efficient way, so I wasn't spending all my time organizing and planning, right? I wanted to get into the work. Now, there's tools like Teamzy and that exist all over the world, but in our industry, there just wasn't anything. I couldn't believe it. So we built Teamzy. The few tools that I did find in this industry were not based on relationship building. And I am going to talk a little bit about this tonight. The predominant thing taught in our industry still 40 years later, or I don't know, is our industry older than 40 years? Yeah, it's probably much older than that. However many years later, decades, is the same old go for no junkola that they've been teaching since the beginning. This concept that if you just message or blitz enough people, you'll get some yeses. I don't know about you guys, but that's not my style. That's not my style at all. I don't want my friends and family to avoid me or not want to talk to me, right? I hate getting rejected. Can I get an amen on a rejection aversion? So that's not my style. That's not what I've been teaching people to do for the past 20 years. And so I knew that we needed to be organized and efficient with software, but at the same time, have the right heart and the right approach, which is why I built Teamzy. So just to kind of give you a quick background on what's happened in 5 years after we launched Teamzy. We've had, oh, I went too fast, got myself too excited. We've had more than 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which is, to me, is so humbling. We're not a big tech company. We're small tech. We're owned, right? We bootstrapped. Nobody owns us. Nobody has equity in our company. And this has grown just like this. Jody saying, hey guys, I have something I want to show you. People loving Teamzy and sharing it with their teams, their friends. That's how we've grown. And just to kind of give you an idea oh man, going way too fast here. Just to give you an idea as far as results for Xyngular, we saw people using Teamzy regularly. We're averaging 36 new customers and 14 recruits over 90 days. Is that insane? Those numbers are huge compared to any other network. They're much bigger. 36 customers and 14 recruits over 90 days. And really this coincided with a specific blitz that we did with Xyngular Corporate. I don't know, some of you may have been aware of it. But it happened to coincide with the whole, ship happens and all that stuff that was going on. Like part of it was Teamzy creating momentum. Part of it was the new products you guys had, but it was a good season. Anybody who thought that season was not a good season is missing the point. You love it when you break everything because your business is growing so quickly. So anyways, let's dive into this training. What is relationship marketing? Have you guys heard this term before? It seems to be a buzzword. It's funny, 20 years as a business coach, when I started, people were like, a business what now? Now everybody knows what a business coach is, right? Same thing with relationship marketing. What are you talking about, Eric? Now everybody's using the term, but I want you guys to understand a couple things about relationship marketing. This is a philosophy. First and foremost, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. A lot of people think relationship marketing means selling things to people you know. That's got it backwards. That's putting the sale before the person. The person comes before the sale. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys how when we focus on relationships, we actually create more sales. But you need to understand people are more important than sales. And this helps get rid of the stigma of our industry where all of our friends and family think that because we have a Xyngular business, we're painting a target on their backs and we're after them now, right? We want people to know we love them and we care about them and we're off to help them, right? And if we could do it with Xyngular, even better. The next piece is, man, something's going on with my computer today. It's too sensitive. Here we go. Also, it's not an abstract, a feel-good concept. We're not going to sing Kumbaya together and hold hands at the end of this call because it's relationship marketing. This is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. A proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. How many of you would just like to know what to do next? Can we fast forward to that part, Eric? Just tell me what to do next. Don't worry, we'll get there. Also, relationship marketing is a lead generation system. A lead generation system, that's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. Okay. So in other words, well, you guys get that. You understand what I'm talking about there. But I want you to kind of reframe your thinking a little bit because a lot of times you may think of yourself as somebody who markets and sells Xyngular products. Right? But that's not who you are. I mean, it's part of what you do, but you're a business owner, right? You're the owner of the business. So you have to think like a business owner. What's the primary role of a business owner? It's to generate leads for the business. Okay. And so I want you to think of this principle. You are not in the selling Xyngular business. You're in the lead generation business, And remember, what do I mean by that? I mean, initiating interest or inquiry into your products and services. I'm going to teach you tonight that you are going to meet people so that you can build relationships with them. That's what I mean by generate leads. We're going to meet people. Why? So we can build relationships with them. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. But when you put the system that I'm going to show you, you layer that in over that principle, the results are pretty astounding. Here's another principle I want you guys to get, and that's this: developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. It's not just a nice thing. This is your duty. This is your duty. Building and deepening relationships is your duty. Okay. Why are the relationships so important? Because we're going to turn relationships into advocates. Okay. We're going to turn relationships into advocates. If you're taking notes, write this down: by investing time in providing outstanding service. Here's something that our whole industry, which is trained for the, go through the list, go for no, pound the pavement, call everybody and see if you can get 3 or 4 people to say yes. That whole concept, which by the way, you're going to understand that I can't stand it, right? I think it's reprehensible personally. But that concept, you talk to 99 people to get a yes, you throw 98 people away. You throw them away like dead bodies over your shoulder. They said no, off my list, moving on, right? And I remember one of the first trainings I went to in the network marketing industry, everyone had t-shirts with pictures of rhinoceros on the front, and it said, you gotta have skin thick like a rhino. Why? Why do I need skin thick like a rhino? You guys are insane. I'm not going to do what you're doing. The reason why it's, besides the fact that it feels awful to get rejected 98 times and then throw away relationships over it, is it misses the point that those people might say no to Xyngular today, but they could still be my advocate. They might never buy Xyngular, but they could still be my advocate. That's somebody who's so excited about what I'm doing that they feel compelled to share it with other people. And I know in my personal life, I've had many people who have been advocates for my business that aren't even now with Teamzy. I tell you what, all the time, people are saying, oh, my friend so-and-so said, oh, you're in network marketing, you need to talk to my friend Eric. He has this amazing product called Teamzy. Those aren't people that are ever going to use Teamzy, but they're sharing it. Why? They're my advocates. Why? Because I have a relationship with them. They're excited about what I'm doing. They want to share it with people. Does this make sense? I'm going to just pause on this slide for a second, because this is a huge thing that 99% of all trainers in our industry miss, is how important these relationships are, even with the people who are not interested. See, you guys on the call with me tonight, and those of you watching this on replay, some of you are going to use Teamzy, some of you are not. My goal is for all of you to be an advocate for me. All of you are going to go, that Teamzy training was awesome. You guys should go watch his trainings. Does that make sense? Like that's how I come into every relationship and every interaction. I want you guys to come into every relationship interaction that way too. This person may not be interested in Xyngular right now, but they're going to want to tell their friends about it because they're going to be so excited about what I'm doing. I one time went to a party and a pool party with a neighbor, and one of their friends was there, and we were just striking up a conversation. He asked what I do, and I tried to explain Teamzy to somebody from outside this industry. And then I asked him what he did, and he told me that he ran a home hospice care company. And I was like, oh, wow. That seems like that would be difficult, how many of you that might be your response to, what do you do? I run a home hospice care company. Oh, okay. I said, just tell me about that. It seems difficult. He goes, you know what, Eric, I'll tell you what, everyone says that, but I will tell you with all honesty, it's the most rewarding work in the world. And I can't imagine doing anything else. And he went on to explain to me why he was so passionate about what he did. Can I just tell you guys, I'd never thought I would be excited about home hospice care, but hearing his passion, I was excited. Does this make sense? And I said to him, I really hope that I never need your services or know someone who does, but I absolutely am going to connect you to anyone who does. He made me his advocate just by sharing his passion. Are you guys with me? This is how business has been built forever. And suddenly we're like, oh, it's network marketing. We got to do it differently. No, we need to do what works, right? I had a mentor who used to say, Jesus recruited 12 people. He had 11 good ones, right? And look how big his network grew. So hang in there, you guys. All right, so next slide. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work, okay? Everything we do depends on trust. Now, one of the things, the reason why I made this a slide, because to me, this is obvious. This is like, there's so many things in this training, I feel like I shouldn't even have to say, but when coming into this industry, everything they were teaching me felt disingenuous to me. And some of you guys can relate. Some of it was really disingenuous and some of it was just a little bit disingenuous. Here's the thing I want you guys to know. Don't do anything that feels disingenuous. Okay? Because trust is the most important thing. And you don't need to. You don't need to. There are people who have been very successful. There are people, even in Xyngular, who have been very successful at doing things that maybe you don't want to do. And that's okay. Okay? You don't have to do it exactly the way they did it. Does it make sense? Because you need to have a business that matches, that aligns with your personal values. Make sense? Okay. So here's the good news though. Trust makes the work fun. If somebody trusts you, man, you don't have to sell them or convince them. You can get right to helping them. Also, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. You're never going to feel like an icky salesperson. You're never going to make them feel icky. When you're building trust, this is just not part of the conversation. Make sense? And finally, you get to go for yes. I know I went past that one fast. You get to go for yes. Instead of going for no's and throwing people away, we understand that many people will take time to build a relationship and get to yes, and that's okay. That's okay. I think of it like an orchard of fruit trees. You know, you water and fertilize those trees even when there's no fruit on the branches, don't you? Why do you care for the trees in the orchard when there's no fruit? Because you know they'll bring you fruit if you care for them. Same thing with relationships. Okay, so let's talk about how to build trust real quick. I got to get back on track, keep us on time here. There are 4 essential ingredients to building trust. I'm going to go through them quickly and then I'll explain them to you. Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is competence. Number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay, you got them? There's actually 7 C's, but I only have time for 4 today. We'll do the 4 big ones. All right, so let's talk about these. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Chemistry basically is creating a connection with somebody. Why is it so important to create a connection with somebody? Because people want to do business with friends. Bottom line, people prefer to do business with a friend. And, you know, I grew up in the 80s. Any 80s kids out there? In the 80s, we learned, don't do business with friends. It's business. It's not personal. You remember how many movies told you that? How much of our pop culture said it's not personal, it's business? Talk about a giant cultural lie. It is personal. People want to do business personally. They want to do business with friends. Does this make sense? So first thing we got to do is build a connection. We got to find out what we have in common, connect with people. Sometimes this means getting out of our comfort zone. We got to be really interested in them. Remember, the relationship is the goal. The sales and recruits are going to be the result. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. We think of character as something we have, like I'm a person of good character. You know what, guys? Character is not something we have. It's an action we have to take daily. It's what we do. Does it make sense? We don't have character. You could have lived a blameless life your entire life up till now. But what matters to me as your prospect or your customer or your team member is how are you showing up today? Does it make sense? And the most important part of marketing yourself and your business is your character. People want to know that you care about them, that you're not all about you. They're not all about whatever. And this comes down to everything you do, how you communicate, how you follow up. Do you have a system like Teamzy so that you don't miss people and actually follow up when you're supposed to, right? How do you take care of people out in the world? Are you polite and kind to others? Are you a good tipper? Do you drive like a maniac on the freeway or the highways, or are you considerate of other people? How many of you are just a little bit maniacal in your driving? It's okay. You can confess. Aggressive, is that a better word? Aggressive. I tend to be a little bit aggressive too, but you know what? I'll tell you guys a little trick. My wife got a personalized license plate on her car, and whenever the family's together, we use her car because it's a big SUV. The license plate says hope, faith, and love in letters and symbols, right? It's California license plate, hope, faith, and love. So people constantly pull up next to us and go, love your license plate. It's so great. Well, if you have a license plate like that, something that's scriptural or with your faith, it makes you drive more considerately, doesn't it? Right? Have you ever heard the joke about the, never take one Baptist fishing? Have you ever heard this joke? Could nobody be offended by this, please? You know, my heart's in the right place. The joke is you never take one Baptist fishing, because if you do, he'll drink all your beer. If you always bring two Baptists, because if there's two, they won't touch a single drop. Right? So the joke on that is, look, I mean, I'm making light of it, but the truth is these are ways to help you with your character. Like I always tell people, like put a sticker, a proclamation of your faith in your car. You'll be a nicer driver. I guarantee it. But these things are important. People are looking to our character. It's the most important thing. And if you think about companies that let's be honest, how many of you have stopped doing business with certain companies over their character in the past 2 years? Right? And so this is huge. People need to be seeing how you demonstrate your care for them, your character on a daily basis, everything we do. And when they feel good about that, I mean, that's rock solid for them trusting you. Number 3 is competence. Well, I like your character and I like hanging out with you, but are you actually good at what you do? And are you a business person? Right? Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. So there's a lot of people doing Xyngular. I've met a lot of you. I like a lot of you, right? I've met a lot of you who I think have strong character. Now, the question is, can you help me? Are you actually good at what you do? Do you understand how these products work? Are you going to help me through this? Are you going to teach me about it? Or are you just going to hook me up to Xander and say goodnight? Right? So I need to know that you're good at what you do, because when I'm reaching out for help, I want help from somebody who knows. So the first piece is, how are you demonstrating your competence? How are you demonstrating your product knowledge, what you're learning, the experiences you're having, the testimonials you're seeing? Are you sharing all that? How would I know? Right? How would I know? Let's say you're somebody who was, because I see this all the time. Let's say you're somebody who was very overweight, and everybody knows you're the very overweight person. How do I know that you are knowledgeable now about the weight loss products that Xyngular has? Do I know? Are you sharing your journey? Are you sharing your weight loss journey? Are you sharing what you're learning? Are you sharing how this ingredient does this and this does this? Does this make sense? So for new people, you need to become a sponge and you need to soak up everything that you can from corporate on the products. You need to soak up from your team and upline every story, every testimonial story that you can, so that when someone says, this is my problem, you go, oh my gosh, I just heard a great story from a friend of mine about somebody who had the same problem. You need to know, are you guys with me? This is important. The second piece is, okay, great. You're competent. You know what you're talking about. You can help me, help me buy my products. I'm going to be your customer. The next piece is, why should I join your team? Of all the Xyngular reps out there in the world, why should I join your team to build my business? Are you the business person who can help me to be successful? And again, you need to be demonstrating this. You need to be demonstrating this, even if you're brand new. Now, I don't want you to make stuff up. Don't fake stuff. You know, the whole fake it till you make it thing. Like, do not do that. Remember, it's about trust that we're working on here. So if you're new and you don't have any competence yet in the business, then you just need to share your upline stories. You just need to lean into your upline and your team and share their story. Oh my gosh, my friend Jody, you should see how she did this year, whatever. Or I'm so proud of my sponsor. She's in Bora Bora right now, soaking up the sun. Are you guys with me? Like, You share your upline stories until you build your own, but it doesn't have to be huge things. When you're new, it could be, oh my gosh, look at this amazing water bottle I won this week because I helped 2 people. I got this water bottle from Xyngular. I'm so excited. The little milestones, just the little milestones. I know you guys, was it last month? There was a really pretty gold necklace. You know, those little things, you're not a $1 million producer yet, but you're showing that you are progressing in the business. Are you guys with me? Okay, so we got to be demonstrating our competence, our character, and our competence. Real quick before I jump to number 4, there is a principle behind these that I want you guys to get, and I know that I've already been going halfway through our time, so I'm going to speed this up. But I think this stuff is really important. When someone's going to do business with you, they only care about these 3 things, guys. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Notice in here, it doesn't say, what kind of sweetener is in the shake? Or, right, what's the shipping cost on this? No, that's not the issue. The issue is, can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? And when somebody feels these are yes, 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 you've got an advocate. This is somebody who's excited to tell other people about you. If somebody says no to any one of these, they'll never be your customer. They'll never do business with you. By the way, somebody who feels no on one of these is very likely to warn other people from doing business with you as well. Did you know an unhappy customer is 13 times more likely to tell others not to do business with you than a super excited customer is to recommend one person to you? And you guys know, when you get mad, what do? We all do it. Here's the other piece. If somebody feels like these are maybes, maybe, I don't know yet. I don't know you well enough to know, but I feel like it's maybe, then they'll raise objections. So when you're getting objections, it means they're just not sure about these things. Your relationship hasn't developed enough. Make sense? So I want you guys to understand, as you overcome objections, keep these questions in the back of your mind, because you need to be focusing on earning trust, demonstrating your care, and showing them your competence. Make sense? Because if you simply overcome an objection and get the sale, it's a weak sale. That's a cancel. That's a quitter. Make sense? Without the relationship underpinning it. You got to keep building that relationship. Okay, let's talk about number 4, which is consistency. This is the part where you actually have to do the work. Sorry. Oh, the philosophy was so nice until you got to this part. You got to do the work consistently. You want to be successful in anything, you got to be consistent, right? You know this. But consistency is also the best way to build trust, because look, I could go on Facebook or Instagram and go, hello world, I'm so excited. I just joined Xyngular. It's amazing. Let me tell you why it's so amazing. And I'm so excited and I'm going to change the world and I'm going to do this. And your friends and family are like, okay, great. Yep. When I started, and some of you know my story, some of you don't. I did Beachbody for a while before Teamzy took off, and I had to stop doing that. But when I started, one of my friends said, hey, is this like the water filter thing that you did when we were in college? First question. I'm like, no, it's nothing like that. It seems a lot like that water filter thing you try to do in college. Does this make sense? Why didn't they believe me? Because they hadn't seen me be consistent. Make sense? The consistency is how we build the trust over time. Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm still doing this. Yeah, I'm still committed to this. Yeah, I'm still investing in you. Does this make sense? It's the over time that builds the trust. Now, just really quick, let's talk about other places we got to be consistent. How many of you are consistent products of the product? You guys, Xyngular's part of your life. You're using it and you're telling people you're using it, right? Okay, good. Everyone should have their hand up. That's the easiest one. That's the easiest one. Because once you get your business, you get to start writing off your products. I mean, it's great. How about social media? How many of you share publicly? You're pretty consistent about sharing your journey, that you're doing this and that you're building it. Okay. We got a little bit less enthusiasm there. Social media is a gift. I know it's annoying, but it is a gift to us to build this business. It makes it so much easier. We get to reach people all over the world. Makes sense, you guys? So you need to lean into that consistently. But the place I'm bringing you to, the part I really want to ask you, as Zig Ziglar would say, the checkup from the neck up, is this question. Oh, I skipped ahead, but is this question: are you as consistent with your relationships? are you as consistent with your relationships? See, it's easy to take the product every day. It might be even easy to post on social media, but are you consistent about staying in touch with people? Okay, staying in touch with people. Because relationship building is a contact sport. In other words, you got to be in regular contact if you want to have a relationship with people. Okay, you got to be in regular contact. And I know your time is scarce, which is why we built Teamzy. I'm going to show you. It makes it very easy to stay in touch with a large list of people. Okay, guys, it makes it very easy. So if you're intimidated, for those of you who are out there kind of intimidated about the thought of Teamzy, it's going to make your life easy, not complicated. Okay, but I want you guys to get this principle. This is the big principle of the day. I'm telling you guys that building relationships is the most important thing about this business. But if you want to actually deepen a relationship, there's only one way to do it. It's investing time and connecting personally with people. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it. Now, just really quick on this. Did you guys all get that one down? Because I want to just talk about it for a second, and then we're going to jump into Teamzy. Okay, I want to see your faces. So if you're dressed, turn your cameras on for a second. Okay. Well, I have to say it that way because you don't even want to hear the stories. Okay, they're funny though. They're funny except for maybe not to the person who's naked, but it was funny to everybody else. Okay, so just make sure that if you're like wives, make sure you tell your husband you're on a Zoom when he's in the shower in the next room. That's all I have to say. Okay.
Oh my.
So let's talk about this principle. How many of you have ever received a card or, a letter or something with a handwritten message from somebody you love? And when you read that message, it just got you right in the heart. Okay. If you haven't, just put your address in the chat. We're going to make you cry. We're going to write you a really good love letter tonight. But this is something we've all experienced. And even sometimes, like it was my anniversary yesterday with my wife. It's like we're together every single day, right? We tell each other we love each other every single day. But when you write it in a card, it's just so much more meaningful, isn't it? It's like, oh, now I have it in writing. I've got it here to save, remember it, and you can pull it out when you're in trouble. Look, remember what you wrote the other day? So just thinking about the card, whatever one you thought of, do you still have it? How many of you kept the card? You've saved it somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Let me see who's got a stash of cards and letters that you've like a pile somewhere, a drawer. Everybody, right? We all do this. Isn't it amazing how much we value these things? I even think that often when loved ones pass away, we save their cards and letters, don't we? That they received. Like we even value them from people we didn't know because we're like, wow, this person loved my dad, or this person loved this person. We want to save it. Okay, so here's another example. These are some postcards that I received from, these are from my life insurance salesperson. He sends me a card somewhere near my birthday, like usually within 30 days of my birthday, I get a card from him saying happy birthday. How many of you have ever received a postcard like this from somebody you do business with or somebody you casually know? You all get these too, right? From people. Do you keep these in the special stash? Are these in the special place, right? How many of you use one of these for the bookmark in the family Bible? A lot of people use cards and letters as the bookmark in the family Bible, but I don't think the postcard from the life insurance salesperson gets there, does it? No, usually we look at this, we shrug our shoulders. I guess that was nice, and we throw it in the bin, don't we? So what's the difference? You guys are like, Eric, you're belaboring the point. I know. That's what I like to do. I'm building the drama. Do you see this? Okay. This violates both principles, both halves of the principle. If you want to deepen a relationship, you need to connect personally and you need to invest time. So this is a generic mailing. It's bulk. Doesn't even have my name on it. It's just everyone in that month got the card, right? And it required no investment of time. So since it required no investment of time and it's not personal, we put no value on this. It's got no value. Now, what a difference it would make if he bought a card at Hallmark and wrote a little note wishing me happy birthday. Wouldn't that be very different? It'd be very different. But this doesn't make a large impact. It doesn't deepen the relationship because it violates those two principles. This is really important. I'm going to show you guys how to invest time, albeit very few seconds, because Teamzy helps you do it efficiently. but it's going to feel like a big investment of time for the receiver. And how to connect personally with people. That's what Teamzy is designed to do, is to help you take a large group of relationships and give them time and attention personally so you can build those relationships and do it efficiently. Does this make sense? But you need to understand this example, because out there in the world, there are a million shiny objects that say, ooh, here's the ultimate marketing system for network marketing. You guys, check this out. It's automated. You don't have to do a thing. It just does it for you. It's automated. Well, what happens when you do automated marketing, even though it sounds amazing, is this is how it feels. This is how it feels. Are you guys with me? So this business, our business, is run by relationship. It's run by connection. It's run by, my dad used to say, belly to belly, right? That is the heart and soul. Our teams, we're like family, right? So you have to understand that, and I have to reprogram people who are marketers. You know, they're like, I'm the vice president for marketing at a Fortune 500 company. I know how to run my Xyngular business. Like, you might not, right? It's different. So I'm going to jump into Teamzy here in a second, but I wanted you guys just to get that principle, because it's so important, which is that you have to be in regular, you need to invest time and connect with people personally if you want to deepen the relationship. Okay, just really quick here. This is all great. How many of you are in? You like the philosophy? Yep. Eric, I like it. This is great. I don't want to be a salesy, icky salesperson. Great. Let me get to the next slide. This is all great, but you got to have a system. It's not just philosophy that you need. You need a system, a way to stay in contact with all your relationships. You want to know when to contact people. You want to know what you're going to say to people. You want to make sure nobody falls through the cracks. Make sense? How many of you right now feel like there's people falling through the cracks? Okay, you're human beings. That's okay. You're allowed to be human, but I'm going to show you how to prevent that. All right. Okay. Let's see. I've got Teamzy open in one of these windows. Whoa, I've got a lot of windows open. Is anybody like me and you have a problem with opening too many windows? Yep, it's all good. Here we go. Okay, so first off, I want you guys to know that you can go to teamzy.com/Xyngular. Teamzy.com/Xyngular to start a free trial. And I didn't mention this at the beginning. We'll talk about it a little more at the end, but we have a special relationship with Xyngular Corporate. They've endorsed us for you guys to use, and they've negotiated a special discount. We'll talk about that at the end, but it's a third off for Xyngular people, which is pretty awesome. Thanks. Make sure you thank Curtis for that. Curtis did it personally. Good man. Okay. So let's dive in here. Once you've logged into Teamzy and started your free trial, you can get a 2-week free trial that you can do everything I'm going to show you for free. Okay. We don't want to ask for your credit card or anything weird. Go to that site I just told you, start your free trial. Once you log in, and this is what it looks like. And I'm going to walk you through setting it up really just quickly, just to kind of show you how easy it is. And then we're going to dive into a power hour. I'll show you how you can crush your power hour. Okay. All right. So this is the first screen. It's just a welcome screen. I'm going to skip it. I do want to stop on this screen for a second. So this is where we set our income goal. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell Teamzy how much money you would like to be making in your business. All right. So I like to say like a year from now. So my goal you can see is 150,000. So at that goal, $150,000 a year, my daily target in Teamzy is to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 distributors on my team. Okay. Now I'm used to Teamzy, so I could do that literally in 15 minutes, but it might take some of you who are new 30 minutes to do it. That's okay. Okay. So let me show you now, if you want to make your goal smaller, then you slide this little circle and you can see my daily targets adjust to my goal. Pretty cool. Did you know that you're going to know exactly what to do? How many of you are excited? You're going to know exactly what to do in your business. No more guesswork. Did I do enough today? You'll know. You'll know. So if your goal is bigger, great. Get crazy with it. All right. I'm going to put it back to my goal. So once you've got your goal set, click continue. And what happens is Teamzy is now going to be configured to your goal. So each one of you have a custom dashboard. Now, the next step is we want to get contacts into Teamzy. So we want to get all of our contacts in here so that they're organized. Let me see. How many of you guys use sticky notes to take down contact information? You guys sticky notes, pads of paper, spreadsheets, digging through your phone, just I used to just like scroll through Facebook Messenger. Who did I message this week? Like, so you're going to be organized. You're going to get everything in one place. Teamzy's cloud-based, which means you always have access to it. If you have your smartphone, if you have a computer, you always have access to your list. So it's organized in one place. I'm going to show you in a minute, something magical happens in Teamzy too, so that you don't lose anybody. Nobody can fall through the cracks. But what we're going to do is import you want to import your team first, then your customers. And then you can import, which is pretty cool. If you don't have a list, you can import like your Facebook friends or your Instagram followers, which is a great way to get a list of relationships, start connecting with. Does that make sense? In fact, for me, being able to do my Facebook friends was the reason for being for Teamzy. Like I was so excited about having my Facebook list in Teamzy because I had thousands of people there, but I couldn't think of people when I was trying to make a list. Putting them all in there and being able to just start connecting. Oh, it's amazing. And by the way, this is pretty cool. It's a new feature that we've added to Teamzy. If you use Google Chrome, you can actually instantly sync your Facebook and Instagram just by clicking this button, which is pretty cool. If you don't want to use Google Chrome, that's fine. There's some instructions on how to get the information from Facebook and upload it into Teamzy. Okay, so I'm going to skip that. And now let's launch our Teamzy. So we've got everything ready to go. Everybody's in there. We're ready to rock and roll. When you log in, when you go to do your power hour in Teamzy, you're just going to log in. You're just going to log in like I just did, and everything's going to be ready to go. You won't have to do any planning, right? So let me kind of show you how this works. I'll just give you just a really quick little tour here. So if you look at right here where it says today's activities, these are the goals that we set, right? So it tells me what to do today. My goal is to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 distributors. So 19 people I'm going to connect with. What do I mean by connect? I'm just going to send them a message. Am I going to send them a cheesy sales script? Am I going to send them a video from corporate and say, please watch this and give me your true opinion on this? I read that book too. I choked on that page, by the way, because I was like, no, I'm not going to do that either. Okay. No, I'm going to send them a message. My goal is to make their day. That's it. My goal is to make their day. I call it the make someone's day mindset. I want you to live in this mindset. Just make someone's day mindset. I was on a call, similar call to this with my current boot camp the other night. And somebody said, how do you do a power hour? How do you get yourself like in the mood to do a power hour when you don't feel like it? And I said, well, and I told the story. I said, well, when I was, a huge mentor for me on my personal growth journey as a kid and then as a young adult was Zig Ziglar. How many of you ever read Zig Ziglar's books or got to see him live? I got to meet him live, which was amazing. I was given a Zig Ziglar book when I was 11 and forced to read it for a school project and fell in love with his philosophy. And so one of the things that Zig used to do, and you guys can try this, is when he woke up in the morning, he would swing his legs over the bed, put them on the floor, and he would say, today's going to be a great day. Right. And he said his wife would roll her eyes and he would be like, he just felt better for it. And I tell you what, you will feel like a dork, but it works. It does work. And so I've now moved that and adapted it to the power hour. I sit in front of my power hour and I say, today, I'm going to make a lot of people's day. Okay. Today, I'm going to make a lot of people's day. You can try that with your power hour, but that is the goal of the power hour, is to make people's day. It's not to make sales. You got to get that out of your mind. It's to make people's day. Okay. So I'm going to connect with prospects, customers, and distributors on my team with the goal of making their day. Now, I've also got a goal here of sharing 3 times a day. So you can see that goal for shares. That's when I'm sharing a product solution for somebody to help them, or I'm sharing the business opportunity with somebody. Okay, so my goal is to make 19 people's day. And in the process of those conversations that start, I hope to find an opportunity to share 3 times. Are you guys with me? Makes sense. Okay, and then I've also got a goal over here to add new people to my Teamzy list every day, because you got to be constantly meeting new people and adding them. Even if you've got 20,000 contacts, you should be adding people, because new relationships are like fresh water to your business. Your business is like a beautiful, beautiful lake teeming with life. If you shut off the fresh water to that lake, everything dies. Right? So you want fresh energy, fresh relationships, fresh people. And if you're doing relationship marketing right, you're going to be getting introduced to new people all the time. Okay. So those are my daily goals: prospects, customers, distributors, shares, and ads. Okay, so that's what I want to do in my power hour is I want to move those circles. Make sense? Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit here and show you what this power hour module looks like. Now keep in mind, Teamzy is a CRM. Does anyone know what that means? It's not even important. It just means that it's software to help you manage relationships. So every single person is in your CRM. All their contact information is there. Records of all of your conversations that you've logged are there. The names of their dog is there. Their favorite Starbucks drink is there. Their wedding anniversary is there. Every piece of data you have on them is there. That's the boring part, right? I mean, it's cool if you need it, it's there. But what I'm going to show you here is something different than what you get in a CRM where you have to go digging like a filing cabinet. This is like having a full-time assistant telling you what to do every day, which is what very successful people have, right? Here's your calls. Sir, here's the people you need to connect with today. Great, it's done for me. So what this Power Hour module does, there's 4 lists: prospects, customers, distributors, and follow-ups. Okay, each list gives me 5 names at a time so I can't get overwhelmed and so that I don't skip around too much, right? Are you guys with me? You end up talking to the same 20 people over and over and over. That's what most people do. On the right-hand side is where I log the message I send, so it's tracked in Teamzy. Tracking is super important because we want to make sure that people aren't falling through the cracks. We can only do that if we're tracking. Does this make sense? Now, what happens is Teamzy has a magic algorithm. I'm going to tell you what it is, though. Don't worry, it's not that complicated. But it works like magic because it helps you stay in touch with everybody at the right frequency so you don't drop anybody through the cracks. So what we do when we put our contacts in Teamzy is we rate them on a 5-star scale. Easy, right? 5 stars. You guys do this for everything. So we don't rate them by what kind of person they are. We rate them based on the relationship we have with them. So 5-star relationship is somebody that you're very close with. They're going to come up on your list every 30 days. You don't have to set a follow-up. You don't have to remember. They're just going to come back every 30 days on your Teamzy dashboard. Does this make sense? So you can see on my dashboard, Jody's there as 5 stars. Now, a 4-star relationship comes back every 60 days. A 3-star relationship comes back every 90 days. A 2-star relationship comes back every 120 days. So depending on the level of relationship will depend on how often you connect with them. If I barely know you and I message you every month, you're going to think I'm a weirdo, right? But if I reach out every 4 months, staying in touch, every 4 months, we have a nice little chat. You're consuming my social media like crazy after we talk, which is what happens. And you're getting more interested in Xyngular. Make sense? Okay. So now that we've got that out of the way, your Teamzy set up, you don't have to do any of this thinking. Eric doesn't have to explain it to you. You get right in and start cranking. So let me show you how easy this is. Now, you can log any kind of activity you want: Facebook, email, text, WhatsApp, Instagram. You can do Snapchat, LinkedIn. You can call them on the phone. You can write them a card. You can have coffee with them. You can do a Zoom. You can send them a Voxer. It doesn't matter how you like to connect. Okay, you can log it all in here. Now, personally, I would say the 2 best ways to connect in general, the best way would be via Facebook Messenger, and the second best way would be text. Now, that's just because those 2 get the highest response rate. Does it make sense? The cool thing about Facebook is you can be connected with somebody on Facebook and not know their phone number, but you can still send them a message. Isn't that cool? I love that. So I'm going to start doing my power hour. I'm just going to use Facebook because that's primarily what I would use for my demonstration. Okay, so hang with me, guys. Okay, so the first person on my list is Jody. I need a messenger. I want to make her day. How do I do it? What do I say? How many of you would be stuck on that? How do you do this? So when I launched Teamzy a little over 5 years ago and it started spreading, I would do calls like this. People would say, Eric, when you do it, it just rolls off your tongue. Well, that's because I've been doing it for 20 years, guys. Been teaching this for 20 years. But they're like, can you please put scripts in? So I ended up putting my scripts in Teamzy for you. Okay, so you guys, the scripts library is there for you to use. Let me just show you how easy this is. I'm going to message Jody. I'm going to click on scripts right there. Do you guys see that? Let me zoom this a little because I think it's a little small. There, that's better, right? See where it says scripts? I'm going to click that. And then what kind of script do you want? I want a Facebook script. Great. And then I've got a whole bunch of scripts I can choose from. I'm going to pick the first one. It's called Connect One. This is like the workhorse script. It reads like this. It says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. Okay. It's got a lot of enthusiasm. It's got a couple exclamation points in there. So just click on copy script. Okay. And then you can go send it on Facebook. I like to actually paste it in Teamzy first so I can edit it, right? So you want to get the correct name. Whenever you start a new chat with somebody, always use their first name, okay? Don't say, oh, I'm just going to change it to friend, and then I never have to change the name. No, you went from a handwritten card to this. Make sense? Personal, it has to be personal. As soon as you say, hey, friend, they think, oh, they got some sort of bulk texting service. Okay. The other thing that I would always do is, add a couple of emojis. I like emojis. You guys like emojis? I don't know. I'm just picking random emojis, but you get the idea. So you want to like liven it up a little. I wouldn't change. Personally, the text took me 20 years to refine this text. There's little psychological reasons for every sentence. But if you look at this text, it's friendly and it's letting them know I'm not trying to sell you. I'm not trying to manipulate you. I want to know how you're doing and I'm wishing you well. Does this make sense? And so this is why a message like this gets such a great response, because it does what it's intended to. It makes people's day. They smile and they thank you for it. Make sense? All right. So now that I have the message the way I want it, I need to actually send it to her. So I'm going to copy it and go send it to her on Facebook. If you want to send a message on Messenger, you have to actually go to Messenger. Hey, look at this. My memory here on Facebook is a team call like this one, but 5 years ago. That's fun. Okay. Is this you? Are you Jody L. Briggs? Oh, yes, you are. There you are. I know your face. Okay, great. So look, I'm just going to send her a message. I'm going to move my screen up a little so I can see it. There it is. We'll paste that in there. There she is. Boom. Message sent. Do you see how easy that is? Now, if you're an overthinker, let me see the overthinkers. Some of you are thinking right now, do I want to raise my hand? Let me think about this. Did you see how fast I pasted and sent it? This is where you hover and you overthink. Should I send that? What is she going to think? Oh my gosh, she's going to judge me. She's going to reject me. Just send it. Okay, just send it. It's not a cheesy sales script. Just send it. So I've sent the message. Now it's done. Now I'm going to finish logging it in Teamzy. So you can see here, what kind of activity was it? It was a Facebook message. The big blue button that says log connect. I'm constantly fighting with our head of design because he wants everything to be secret and cool looking. I'm like, no, I want the buttons big, like clobber buttons. Like I want it so simple. How do you log the connect? Make me a giant button that says log connect. Right? So anyways, so it's logged. Now guess what happened? She's gone off my list. Jody's gone. She went back into the Teamzy flow. Now keep in mind, she's 5 stars, which means she'll come back on this list in 30 days. If I forget all about her, it doesn't matter. Let's say she doesn't respond. No big deal. 30 days, I'll message her again. Make sense? Because people do this all the time. They message Jody and then they go, I need to follow up with her to make sure she got my message. Hey, I'm just following up to make sure you got my message. It's like, that's weird. But does this make sense? This is what people do though. Even Teams users will go in there and I'll be like, why do you have 6,000 follow-ups? Well, because every time I send them a message, I've set a follow-up. Like, why? And I'll explain to you guys how we're going to use the follow-up because they come back automatically. So look, if I scroll up a little, you can see now I've got 1 done, 8 left. This little circle's filling in. Next on my list is Jay. Let's send her a message. We'll send her the same message. I'll just paste it in there. It's still on my clipboard and change the name to Jay. Oh, not Joey. That'd be a cool name, Joey. Jay. Okay, so now I've got it set up for Jay. Look, I'm ready to go. Do you guys see why I could do this in 15 minutes once I get jamming? I just toggle over to Facebook. I look up Jay. There she is. Okay, we'll message her. Paste it in and send it. Okay, great. Toggle back. Log it. Boom. Now I've got 2 done, 7 left. Do you see how the circle's filling in? So I'm just going to work my way down the list, making people's day. As this circle fills in when it's all the way blue, I am done prospecting for the day. I don't care if it only takes you 5 minutes. You're done. Okay. Are you guys with me? Now, people will start responding. Resist the temptation to jump into the conversation. Let's finish all our outgoing messages first. Okay. So we don't get distracted. So once we get done messaging prospects, we'll go to the next list, which is customers. And now we're going to message our customers. Okay. And it's a very similar process. We'll go to scripts and we'll send a nice message to make their day. Now, I'm just going to share this with you guys. There's a client of mine that I've been consulting with in her real estate brokerage in Los Angeles for going on 15 years now. Do you know what she calls these? She calls them MSDs. make someone's days? MSDs. I go, it sounds like a drug. She goes, it feels like a drug when you get into it. But she always sends me little emails with my goal for MSDs for the month, right? She sends me her goals for MSDs for the month. So customers, I'm going to message my customers the same way. Melissa comes up first. I'm going to go to scripts. I'm going to find a script. Okay. So there's some great scripts in here for customers. I'm just going to share a couple. How about something like this one? Congratulations on great results. How many of you have a customer who's getting great results? Right? So send them this. Hey, Jane, you're doing so great. I'm proud of you. Congratulations on losing 7 pounds this month. Or whatever it is they've achieved. Getting off of, I can think of 4 things from people I actually help. Congratulations on getting off your high blood pressure medication permanently. Congratulations on, right? Are you guys with me? On not needing your sleep apnea machine anymore. Those first 3 things off my top of my head, there's probably more. So think about this. This is huge. Did I mention the Xyngular products? I didn't need to, right? And this is, anyways, I could go off. I could train you for half an hour just on what you could do with this one. Next one says, oh wait, that's the one we just did. How about this one? Hi, John, how are you enjoying whatever the products are? How are you enjoying your trim down trio? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Now, this is a great one. If you're not sure what to say to customers, maybe you haven't stayed in touch. This is a great one to send because whether it comes back positive or negative, it's great. If they're loving it, it's great. If they're not using, oh, to be honest, I haven't even opened it. Oh, I'm so glad I messaged you, right? Either way, it's great. Oh, well, John, we need to get into this product right now. Let me tell you a story about my friend Jody and the results she got. This is going to get you excited to open your package. Are you with me? So same thing, we're going to message. Here's my favorite one for a customer. It says, hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. So same way, you just copy your scripts. Okay. You throw them in there, personalize the name. Okay. Put in your emojis. I thought it was a heart, but it was a balloon. But anyways, you get the idea. I went too fast. I sent a balloon. That's random. Actually, it's fun to do something random because then they'll go, what the heck? And you're in the conversation. So you get the idea, you're going to log it. And when you log a message with a customer, now this pink circle starts to fill in. It's the same thing. We're going to go down the customer list. We're going to message people, make their day, and then be done. Now, just really quick on this. Hold on, let me just take a sip of this. Keep my throat warm. It's so important to be in touch with your customers. I know you guys know this. Xyngular does a great job with this, but sometimes I think talking to Xyngular leaders, you guys might overcomplicate this a little bit. Okay, so let me help you simplify your life. Once you get past that first month or so with your new customer, just let them go into the Teamzy flow. Just let them come up when they come up. You'll be in regular contact with them. Okay, you'll just be in regular contact with them with less thinking, planning, and overworking yourself. But here's what I want you guys to understand. When you're in regular contact with customers, magic happens. There's 3 things that happen that are really important. The first one is you're finally providing that excellent service that's so important to you to provide, right? That's the first thing. It's an integrity thing. But the second thing that happens is statistically, when you're in contact with people, they order more product and they retain longer. And I get an amen to that one. They'll order more product and they'll retain longer. So they came in, they're using this product. Now, when you're talking to them, they want more products, right? And then I always think of like, okay, great. You're loving the products. Let's talk about your parents, right? Because most of us have parents that are aging that need more nutrition. So let's talk about your parents. Oh, let's talk about you know what I mean? Like I always had this goal. This is just a little side note. I had a goal that every one of my clients would be buying the product for their parents. And that happened a lot. So just if you hadn't thought about that, think about that. You're in regular contact with people. They order more products. They retain longer, which is huge. So the good news for you, Jody, is for your team that's watching this call, you're going to see volume go up in the first month because people will be in contact. Suddenly they'll be like playing with teams. Like, this is easy now. I'm in contact with people. You'll see magic happen. The third thing that happens, this is my favorite thing, is, well, let me just ask you guys a quick question. How many of you have at least one customer that you just love? Like, oh my gosh, how do I clone this person to have more customers like this? You guys have somebody like that? Okay, Jennifer put her hand right up. Okay, great. Here's the question. How do you get more like that? Where do you go find more like that? Have you guys thought about this? So the answer is the best place to find a great customer is from a great customer. Okay. The best place to find a great customer is from a great customer. And when people love what you're doing, they want to share it with others. True? Now, I always tell people don't wait around for referrals because it's like waiting for a miracle to happen. Miracles happen, but you can't wait for miracles to happen, right? So what we want to do instead is get introduced, get people to introduce you to their friends and family. How do you get a customer to introduce you to their friends and family? Well, it's easy if you have a great relationship. It's not easy if you don't have a great relationship. Does this make sense? So step one is being in regular contact. And then, as I'm in regular contact with Jody, she's my favorite customer. She loves working with me, and I can message her, and like that one that said, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on the progress you're making. Right? Can you picture this conversation? She's like, oh, that's so sweet. Well, I really appreciate your help. Well, I want you to know you're like my favorite customer, and it's a pleasure to do it. In fact, before I get too busy this month, Jody, if there's anybody, I'm sure you've been telling people have been noticing your progress. I'm sure you've told people about Xyngular and what you're doing. Is there anybody you care about who needs more information? I want to make sure I get it to them before I get too busy. She'll, oh yeah, actually I was talking to Alan and Kathy about it the other day, and they're kind of curious. And perfect. Well, listen, would you do me a favor and introduce me to Alan and Kathy? Whatever's easiest for you, just a group text or group chat on Facebook, and I'll get them some more info. Yeah, sure. She does it right there. And boom, she introduces me. Does this make sense? So here's what I want you guys to understand on this. I know I'm over my time, so we're going to fast forward now to Q&A in a second. 90% of people make purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of a friend. It used to be like 82%. Now they did it last year. It's 90%. 90% of people make purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of a friend. Not because, marketing and all the slick stuff corporate makes, that's cool. But it really comes down to their friend telling them they should do it. And when Jody introduces me to Alan and Kathy, she is saying to them, this is Eric, you can trust him. This is the product I was telling you about that you should use. And then she doesn't have to write that in the message. She just says, hey, I want to introduce you guys to Eric. He's my Xyngular rep. He's been helping me. And I know you guys are interested. You're connected. And I said, thank you so much, Jody. I really appreciate it. And then, tell Alan, and then I'm going to start talking to them. Hey guys, it's been really great working with Jody. It's been my pleasure to help her. How can I help you? What are you guys interested in learning about? What information are you after? Right? So now I'm talking to Alan and Kathy, and they're actually engaging with me. Why? Because we were introduced. Does this make sense? Worst case scenario, they go in Teamzy and I build relationship over time. Best case scenario, they're like, yeah, we want what she's got. So how do we get it? Are you guys with me? This is actually incredibly easy to do every single month. Getting introduced to your customers, friends, and family is very easy. It is the absolute best way to grow your business. I'm just telling you guys this right now. I know I don't have time to go deep into it. And in my bootcamp, we spend like a whole week on this topic alone. But I could do a 6-week program on this topic. It's a nuance, like you get good at. It's like any skill. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper into building relationships this way. But I just want you guys to know, you got to be in touch with customers or none of this happens. Make sense? By the way, when Alan and Kathy are excited to order products from me, what do I tell Jody? Jody, thank you so much for introducing me to Alan and Kathy. They're ready to get started. They're amazing. And before I sign them up, I just want to ask you one question. Have you ever thought of doing what I do? Because we can start you off with these two already. I can put them as yours. Okay. And based on how effortlessly you introduced me to them, I really think we could probably get something going for you. Does this make sense? The customers introduce you to their friends. They become your best prospects for your team. It's just like a cycle of amazing loviness. Make sense to you guys? Are you guys with me? Step one, though, regular contact with customers. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to be like, I know you guys are doing a buy one, get one right now. Like, that's cool. It doesn't have to be that. It could just be, hey, I'm just checking in. It's been a while since I talked to you. How the heck are you? Does it make sense? It's just regular contact. In fact, you want to make sure, like, for everyone where you're like, there's a special this month, you've got like 3 or 4 of the other kind, right? Does this make sense? All right. Back to Teamzy really quick. Let's crank through this. So I'm going to connect with my prospects, my customers, my distributors. Oh, distributors, I didn't talk about that, but that's your team. Same thing. They come up in Teamzy, make their day. Why are you going to do all this work to recruit team members and then let them quit at the rate of 50% a year? Why are they quitting? Is it because Xyngular's no good? No, couldn't be. They're quitting because they don't feel connected. 90% of the time it's because they don't feel connected. How do you make them feel connected? Stay in touch with them. Be intentional. If you've got 2 people on your team, that's going to be easy. When you've got 30,000 people on your team, you need Teamzy. Make sense? So how many of you are building a multi-million-dollar business? You need to put the systems in place now as if you were already there. Right? We named it Teamzy for this reason. It's about connecting with your team, building relationships with your team. That's the part that no corporate company likes to talk about, is retention. They just want you to focus on recruiting. But recruiting with a big hole in the bucket is no fun. So we got to build relationships with our team. They feel connected to the team. They stay longer. We can help them be successful. Make sense? And as your team is all using Teamzy, then they know that you're messaging them because they came up in Teamzy. So have fun with it. Be like, guess who's the top of Teamzy today? It's you, Jody. How the heck are you? Right? They know that you care enough about them that you are intentionally staying in touch. Make sense? Okay. So first half of my power hour, prospects, customers, distributors. My goal is to reach out to 19 people, sending a message. I can do that in 15 minutes. Do you guys see what I mean? Let's say it's 30 minutes. Now, the second half of the power hour is your follow-ups list. So when I come to my follow-ups list, I'll see if I have a follow-up due, and I do. I have a follow-up due with Lori. Great. So now I'll go to my scripts and I'll send her a follow-up message the exact same way. Does this make sense? Do you see how easy this is? But how does she get on my follow-ups list? Let me just kind of take you through this really quick, you guys. So the follow-ups list is where you can set a follow-up with anybody you want to connect with for any reason on a specific date. Okay. But really, what I had in mind when I designed this is your pipeline. You guys know that term pipeline? It's used a lot by salespeople. What I mean is, these are the people who are interested in Xyngular. All these people I'm talking to, I'm starting conversations, I'm making people's day, I'm having lots of talks, I'm investing in relationships. And through those process, I'm finding people who have interest. And now I want them on my follow-ups list. These are the people who are set apart. They want to learn more about Xyngular. Now I'm going to follow up with them like a professional. Are you with me? So let me just give you a quick example. I'm going to try to make it quick. Over delivery is a disease that I suffer from. I'm sorry, guys. So let's pretend again that Jody's my prospect. I messaged her, make someone say message. She responds and like, thanks, Eric. Great to hear from you. Now I have a chance. She's responded. I have a chance to try to strike up a conversation with her. Okay. So I'm going to, tell me what it's been forever since we talked, Jody. Catch me up. What have you been up to? Send me an update on what's going on in your life. I'm going to try to get her in a conversation. She may or may not go for it, but if she does, now we're chatting, right? We're messaging back and forth and we're having a little bit of conversation. So the number one thing I can give you as advice is just be interested in them. Just be interested in them and ask questions and just pretend like you're in person, like you ran into them at the store, right? You haven't seen them in a while, like catch up, just catch up. And so once people understand that you just want to catch up and you give them, make it easy for them, like send me an update, tell me what you're up to. Now you're off to the races and you're chit-chatting, right? And so what's going to happen is if this goes according to plan, won't always, because what happens if it fizzles out? She's in Teamzy. She's going to come up in a month or two. I'll message her again. Over time, I'm going to build that conversation more. Does this make sense? So you don't like your life doesn't begin and end in every conversation. You're creating lots of conversations so that you can have a few good ones. Make sense? Okay. But what we're not doing is saying, Would you like to marry me on the first date? Them saying no, and then us throwing them away, which is what the go for no thing is like. Right? So we're just having conversations. So chit chatting, she's catching me up on her life. I'm interested. My goal is to find a way to help her however I can. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with Xyngular. Maybe she tells me, the tropical storm came through and put a leak in the roof. And she's super annoyed because she's got buckets all over the living room. Okay, great. I know a great roofer. I'm going to give you his contact info right now. He's amazing. Does that have anything to do with Xyngular? No. Was it helpful? Yeah. So just be in that place, you guys, just be in that place of helping people however you can. Now, as we're talking, she's going to tell me what's going on in her life. And then she's going to expect me to do the same. This is the law of reciprocation. It would be very weird for me to be like, great hearing from you. And thank you for telling me about your life. Bye. Right? No, I'm going to tell her what's going on in my life, tell her what we've been going through with our kids and everything. Right? And part of this, you guys, this is such a key piece. How do I bring up Xyngular? Oh my gosh, how do I talk about my business? How do I do it? It's part of your life. You tell them about your kids, you tell them about your spouse, you tell them about work, and you tell them about your Xyngular business, period. It's easy. Don't overthink this. Don't overthink this. Tell them what you do and why you're passionate about it. And I don't mean what you do like, I empower women to find, you guys have these fancy statements. Like, what does that mean? Tell people I work with Xyngular. Have you heard of them? They're an amazing company. This is what they do. And this is why I love working with them, because maybe it's your story, because it changed my life. Maybe it's because I love changing people's lives. You know what I mean? What you do and why you're passionate about it. I just say this because my analogy is this. Let's say I'm an electrician. How many of you are a little nervous about sharing with people that you have a Xyngular business? And like, it's just a little bit like, how do I bring this up? So just picture for a second, you're an electrician. Would you have any problem telling people you're an electrician? No. So what's the difference? The only difference is here between your ears. Make sense? Now, if I was an electrician, would I tell people I energetically heal people's abodes and empower homes to have? No, you would say, I'm an electrician. I solve electrical problems. I help people with construction projects. Are you guys with me? Jody's laughing because I see this all over the place. It's like, I empower. It's like, great, you empower, but how? With Xyngular. Why? Because these products, X, Y, Z, are awesome. Like we're missing the point. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to know. When I'm telling Jody about my life and I'm telling her, I don't know if I ever told you that I'm an electrician. Yeah, board certified, bonded, the whole thing. If you ever have a problem with electrical in your house, I'm your guy. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. In fact, I love it. I mean, I love it. Just the other day, I had this older couple who had been living with this short in their wall for like 6 years. And then suddenly there was like a black burn mark on the drywall. And so he finally called somebody to help. And I'm so glad because I was able to rewire that wall, and that could have cost their lives. Wow. Yeah. So if you ever come across anybody who needs anything, just call. I'm there. I'll be there to help them. I'm excited to do it. Like, we would do that, wouldn't we? So we want to talk about, and it didn't feel salesy. So we want to talk about our Xyngular business the same way in the conversation. I don't know if I told you I started my own home-based business. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a couple of years I've been doing this, but I will tell you, I work with a company called Xyngular. Have you heard of them? They're awesome. Yeah, they have these incredible products. Like I got really passionate about it because it changed, I lost a bunch of weight, changed my life. And then just sharing and helping other people it's been really rewarding. And not only that, but during this pandemic time, when it's been so uncertain, to have that extra income has been like a godsend. It's been awesome. Now, how many of you think you could tell a story similar to that in conversation? It should be natural. Now, what's the response when you tell somebody what you're doing and why you're passionate about it? The response, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's always positive. It's always positive. Good for you. Oh, that's cool. I'm so glad for you. I'm happy for you. Proud of you. That's awesome. How many of you wish you could go back in time and that be everyone's response? It's just how you do it. It's just how you do it in the conversation. She's like, oh, that's exciting. Good for you. Now, look, how do I now transition to inviting her to learn more about the business in this conversation without being pushy? You just invite her. Hey, Jody, just keep in mind, if you ever come across anyone who needs help in these areas, please let me know, because I'm on a mission to help as many people as I as I can. And even if you'd like to learn more about it, just let me know. Okay. Or you could just go straight to, if you ever want to learn more about it, just let me know, Jody. Okay. That's it. You plant that seed. It's super easy. Don't overthink it. It's going to work great. And then she says, actually, this is serendipitous because I was just telling my husband today, I need something. I need to do something else on the side. Maybe I think I would like to learn a little bit more about what you're doing. Great. Let's set up a time and we'll talk some more. Are you guys with me? So Jody now has gone from hey, how you been? To I'm going to put her on my follow-ups list now because I'm going to share this business opportunity with her. Right? So let me just show you how to do this really quick. And then we'll jump. If you guys want to ask a couple questions, we'll do some Q&A, but really quick on this. So now my next goal is to get off chat and get on a call with Jody. Like I like to do FaceTime or Zoom, right? If you're actually in the same town, you can get in person, which is great. If they're, but FaceTime or Zoom works great. And so phone call, if I can't do that, but FaceTime or Zoom works great because, 80% of our communication is facial. And some people are into wearing their masks all the time. So at least on a Zoom or something, you can see their face, which is great. Okay. So we get on Zoom and I'm going to be listening to her, asking her questions, finding out what she needs in her life, what her problems are, what her goals are, what her struggles are, so that I can see what I can do to help her. And then I'm going to show her the solution I have for her problems. Make sense? It's very important, you guys, when selling, to understand their problem. Your job is to solve their problem, not to be the solution to the problems they don't know they have. Does it make sense? I mean, if you sell weight loss, you can't walk up to an overweight person and say, I have the solution you need to your weight loss problem. You get punched in the face. Right? No, but if you have a relationship with somebody who's overweight and they say, I know you help people lose weight and I need your help. That's a different conversation, isn't it? Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about it. What are your goals? How much weight do you want to lose and why? What's your main thing? Is it because you don't like the way you look, or is it because the doctor told you you're going to have a stroke? Like what's the reason? How can I help you? Okay, great. I think based on everything you've told me, I think I have a program we can get you on right away. Does this make sense? So Jody's excited. We've had this great conversation. She loves the opportunity. She's in. She's like, I'm in. I'm going to join the team. I'm going to send me everything I need right now. I'm going to sign up right now. Have you guys had people like this? Great. So I'm going to say, perfect. I'm going to send you everything you need right now. And I'm going to check in with you tomorrow, Jody, to see if you have any questions. Sound good? She says, great. Why am I going to check in tomorrow? Because 80% of people won't actually do what they say they're going to do and make that purchase. I want you guys to know that it's normal. So what I do is I'm just going to show you how I do this real quick in Teamzy, and then we'll do a Q&A. So I'm going to put her in here. I'm going to look her up because she's not on my dashboard anymore. But if I look her up, this brings me to her contact record in Teamzy. There she is. I can open up this connect box and I can now log our conversation. So we had a video chat. Great. And then I'll put the notes here from our Zoom, right? So I'm logging this, but I want you guys to see something right here. See where it says share on the bottom left? I'm going to click that because this isn't just to connect to say how you doing and make someone's day message. This is a share. So in this case, I shared a business opportunity with her. So I'll choose that one. And as soon as I change this to share, it automatically creates a follow-up. You can see it defaults to 2 days, but I told her tomorrow. So I'm going to click on tomorrow. And you can set a follow-up for any point in the future. So when I log this, you guys, you can see, look, you can see in the history, it logged the video chat, all the notes from our Zoom are there, and it's scheduled a follow-up for tomorrow. Now, if I go to my dashboard, you can see how this looks. You can see I've got a share logged. See that? And if I go to my follow-ups list, there's Jody due tomorrow. Now, just really quick on this. I know how many times have I said just really quick? And here I'm with you guys an hour later, but it's okay. Hang in. This is good stuff, right? These are the nuggets. Okay. So tomorrow, when I do my power hour, I go through my prospects, my customers, and my distributors, just like I showed you. It'll be a new list tomorrow. People are making their day. And then I go look at my follow-ups list. I see that follow-up is due for Jody. I send her a follow-up message, exactly like a connect. It's so easy. You don't have to think. Are you guys with me? Let me show you how it works. So here I am. I'm going to click on scripts and I'm going to look for scripts called follow-up. Here's one, follow-up. Follow-up number 1. By the way, they're numbered in order. There's 10 of them. So you can follow up 10 times without having to think. Is that cool? None of these are cheesy, by the way. They're all specifically tailored to relationship marketing. So the first one reads like this. It says, "Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me?" Now, this script works particularly good after you say, "I'll check in tomorrow to see if you have any questions." Okay? Your follow-ups are promises kept. That's why I like to use those words, just checking in like I promised I would. There it is. Took a second. There it is. Great. So now I'm going to change the name to Jody. Okay. And I'm going to send her that message. Don't overthink it. It's ready to go. So, oh, look, there she is. She's open. We're going to send her that message. We're sending it in real time. Boom. Checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? So when I log this in Teamzy, check this out. I log it. And because it's a follow-up, it's going to ask me a couple questions. First, it says, does this complete the follow-up you had scheduled for today? Yes, so leave that checked. It does. Now I want to add another follow-up. So now I'm going to follow up again, let's say on Thursday. Okay. And I can leave myself a note. FU, by the way, means follow-up. Just clarifying. Okay. In my notes. All right. Sandra got that one. Okay. So then when I create this additional follow-up, now it's going to check off today's follow-up and schedule the new one. Let's hit complete. So what it did was, you can see now she's due Thursday. So every time you follow up, you want to set a new one in the future. So they stay on that follow-ups list. Now, just really quick on here, you guys. Why do I have 10 follow-up scripts? Because 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Let me say that again so you can write it down. 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. But I understand Jody was super excited. She said she was going to sign up tonight. Well, she meant that. But then she got back in there. As soon as she got off with me, she went back to her normal life. Make sense? And this is a new thing. So it's going to take a while. I don't have time to get into the psychology of it, but it's our subconscious mind takes over. Have you guys ever driven home from somewhere and then realized you don't remember driving home? Scary, isn't it? That's your subconscious mind literally taking over your body like a zombie. And 80% of our actions come from our subconscious. So when Jody's excited about this new opportunity, it's outside of what her subconscious mind knows. It puts her in auto drive back into her life. And the following up, why it takes 7 to 10 follow-ups is the following up are little electric shocks into the new paradigm. Does this make sense? Are you guys with me? Some of you guys are like, wow, I can tell this is a deep concept that I don't have a lot of time to get into, but there's a lot of books on this. But even without reading the books, you guys just do it. You can practically see that it works. So what we're going to do is we're just going to send her a message every so often. Hey, I'm still here. Hey, remember those big goals we set? Can't wait to help you do them. I promised you I'd stay in touch. Here I am staying in touch. So all these little messages, they come through, and every time they come through, she immediately feels emotionally connected to that first conversation we had. What's the emotion? It's hope. It's hope. That's your product, you guys. Your product is hope. That's what you sell. Right? So what happens is I send her a message. Guess what's going to happen in most cases? No response. Follow up again, no response, follow up again, no response. Have you guys had people who are excited and then they stopped responding, confused you? There's nothing wrong with you. They're just in their life. It's like you message them and the dog's throwing up on the baby right now. I can't respond, right? I'm driving my car. I can't respond. I'm peeling skin off chicken breasts. I can't pick up my phone. Are you crazy? That's disgusting, right? I'll message her later. This is our life, isn't it? And all of those little things, subconsciously, our mind is giving them the justification. You don't need to do that right now. We're busy doing this. So this is just the way it works. Now, we start creating our own stories after about 3 non-responses. What's wrong with her? She doesn't, I thought she was excited. Oh, I saw on Facebook, or, she's in a fight with her husband, or she's mad about the economy, or whatever. We make up stories that aren't happening. So don't do that. Don't make up stories. What happens is most people won't respond to even 5 or 6 messages. It's normal. It's totally normal. But then they'll respond with something like, I'm so sorry I haven't responded. Thank you so much for staying in touch. Okay. So just so you guys understand like the ratios, 20% of people in the first 3 follow-ups, they're in. The rest of people will take a lot longer. So once you understand that is normal, it gives you the compassion and the patience to help people through that process. Does this make sense? So don't give up on people or create stories or get angry with them when they're not responding. You've promised to help them, and this is how you help them. This is why I say following up is an act of love. Because they said, I want your help. You said, I'm going to help them. They're not responding. So what, you throw them away? No, you stay following up with them, and you demonstrate your care and love for them. Does this make sense? That's why they always say, thank you so much for staying in touch. I really appreciate it. They don't say, leave me alone, you're annoying. Now you can be annoying if you do it wrong. So let me just teach you the 2 principles really quick, and then we'll do Q&A. If you guys use my scripts, you're fine, because those scripts all follow these 2 principles. But if you want to follow up without being annoying, here's the principles. 1, don't ask them to do anything. So don't say, please respond or call me, or because that's annoying. Okay, so don't ask them to do anything. You have an event on Friday, they haven't RSVP'd. Don't ask them to RSVP, just check in. You don't give them an action step. That's the first thing if you don't want to be annoying. The second thing is make sure your message is short enough they can read the whole thing without opening it, because they're not going to open your message. They're not even going to open it, but they want to see it. They want to see it on the lock screen. They don't want to open it because they don't have time to respond. They don't want you to see that they saw it and feel like a jerk, right? We do this. So short enough they can see the whole thing. All you want is for them to see it, to know that you're connecting emotionally with them and that you are fulfilling your promise to stay in touch. Make sense? And you do that long enough. Now, look, I want you guys to understand why were those numbers so high for Xyngular people consistently using Teamzy? You come in, let's say 5 days a week, if you're really disciplined, you come in, you make someone say messages to a bunch of people, and then you send a follow-up message to everyone you've developed interest in with. Some people will be on that follow-up list for a year. They will be, I'm sorry. But every month, I guarantee you, every month, people on that follow-up list, they will convert. They will convert. They will join the team. They will become customers. That's how you qualify consistently. I've had people, I can't even tell you how many people who have been using Teamzy since the beginning, like 5 years, have told me that they've never missed a qualification. It's just steady, right? It's just steady. And as you build and as you retain, you see your business grow. Does it make sense? I know what do you guys call them? The Zing twins, the X twins, Danielle and Deanna, like that they're the ones who brought Teamzy into Xyngular. So if you guys know them, you can thank them for it. But Danielle once said to me, she said, when we're having promotions is when I can see who's not using Teamzy, because they cannot keep up with the progress we're making as a team. Right. And she's made that comment before, because it's just like, there's so much going on. The fur is flying, you're building relationships, right? And so you need a system like this. Does this make sense? Just so you can keep track and know that you're doing what you need to do. So I know there's so much more I can show you. I've spent a lot of time with you guys already, so I want to give you a chance to ask me questions. So I just have a couple things to go over as far as subscribing and the Xyngular discount, and then we'll open it to questions. Okay. So let me just do that really quick. So where am I? Here we go. So again, with Teamzy, you get a full-fledged CRM, which is a customer relationship management software system. But keep in mind, it also has the Power Hour module, which becomes your assistant, helps you plan your day. But you'll be able to find every contact, customer, and conversation that you've had in Teamzy. It's at a fingertip. Also, you guys see the picture there, the little iPhone. There's a mobile version that you can use on your phone, which is great too. It's not an app, it's a mobile website, but it works amazing. Everyone uses it. It has the intelligent module to crush your power hour every day so that you can get in and out of your business and get back to your life, right? You'll be able to view and track all your leads and get your team motivated too. We didn't get a chance to go into the team report too much tonight, but Jody, you can show them that on another time. Hopefully you're using that with your team. You'll be able to see and track your performance. So this is just going to really up your game in your business, get you super organized, and give you a game plan for building relationships. Again, I mentioned the scripts library, but keep in mind that that is included in Teamzy. So if you're thinking, I'm not sure how to start conversations with people, it's going to be in here to help you. Okay. And again, these are scripts that are designed for Facebook Messenger, text, any type of touch point. They're conversation starters. They're not cheesy sales scripts. Okay. And your follow-up scripts are in there. Your reconnecting scripts are in there. You can also create your own scripts and save them in your Teamzy account to be at your fingertips, which is pretty cool. So if you've got one that you like, that's not one that I use, or your upline has one, you can put it in there. Also, a lot of people don't know, has this training time been valuable for you guys? So you can tell I love to train people. And I told you my background is as a coach, not as software. I don't even know how the software works, honestly. It's like driving a car. Do you guys know how everything in your car works, but you turn it on and it takes you where you want to go, right? That's the way I think of software. But one of my passions is to train. And with your Teamzy subscription, of course, we have trainings that you can pay extra for, additional costs, but there's a training suite that I built for free in Teamzy. And I want you guys to know it's there for you to have access to. I call it the Ultimate Mindset Training. And there's a series of trainings here. The first is goal setting on steroids. That's what I call it. So again, child of the 80s, if you guys remember that. If you were around then, some of you are too young to remember that, but everyone else knows what I mean by on steroids. But I'm going to teach you how to set your BHAGs, which is your big, hairy, audacious goals. By the way, the A stands for audacious. I don't know what other people have told you. Big, hairy, audacious goals. Those are the ones that are so big that your spouse laughs at you when you share them. They think it's funny and cute, but that's okay. We can dream big. We're going to teach you how to set SMART goals. Those are the goals you achieve in the next 3 months to a year. And then we're going to help you create a personal business standard, which is your daily minimum goal for yourself. Also, in this training, we teach you how to uncover your why so that you can stay consistent. People quit the business, I believe, because they don't know their why, which is why in Teamzy, we have your why on the dashboard. You can see it every day. Okay. But a lot of people don't know how to get to the why. You don't need to read 12 books for this, by the way. I've read all the books. I've been to the classes. We've got this really simple series of questions to get you thinking, to get the why out. Once you've gone through the process, by the way, in Teamzy and watched this training on how to get your why, you can now lead team members through it when you recruit them. Okay. Help people get their why, like on that first day. It's huge because, like, for example, my why I thought was to make $500 a month extra money. And I realized it was to spend more time with my family, be present for my kids. Like I figured that out in 15 minutes, that the $500 wasn't my goal. Make sense? Okay. And then, of course, we go deeper in trainings on relationship marketing. So that Ultimate Mindset Training Suite is already unlocked in your Teamzy subscription, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to let you guys know that. Okay. Now, just to kind of let you know, as far as pricing, the Teamzy's normal price is $29.99 a month, which is amazing, $1 a day, right? To have everything planned for you. But corporate has negotiated a special price for you. So for Xyngular distributors, $19.95 per month. So it's like 60 cents a day. It's a no-brainer. Tax deduction too, right? Okay. Now, if you're really loving Teamzy, you can do an annual subscription and save even more. Okay. So it's $198 per year if you go that way, which brings it down to like under 15 a month. You guys with me? Okay. So again, what you're going to want to do is go to teamzy.com. You can go to teamzy.com/Xyngular and start your 14-day free trial. If you're already in the trial, get your subscription set up so you don't miss a beat when your 14 days is up. You can set up your subscription at any point because we won't ask for your credit card for your free trial, but you can set up the subscription at any point and it won't bill until your 14 free days are up. Okay. So you can just do that for peace of mind. But I highly recommend that you join the Teamzy community Facebook group. When you log into Teamzy, you'll see community as a link in Teamzy. Click it and you can join that Facebook group. There's 20,000 people or so in there talking about Teamzy. It's a great place to search for questions and things. I also think you should get a success partner to do Teamzy with you. So commit to 30 days, pick somebody, say, let's do this together. Maybe, you guys as a team might want to organize something, say, let's do a Teamzy push together. Let's just try this thing out, right? And the thing is people sign up for software and never use it. But if you have a success partner or partners, I really like groups of 3, right? Triple braided rope. It's the strongest. You're with me. Okay. I can paraphrase. You get the point. Groups of 3 work great, but here's what I want you to do with your success partner. Share your goal. Say, here's what we're going to do for the next 30 days. Let's commit to it. Hold each other accountable to it. At the end of each day, when you've done whatever you can do in Teamzy, I want you to take a screenshot of Teamzy and message it to your partner or partners. Okay, and ask them to do the same. So what happens is it's like 9 o'clock at night, you're winding down for the night and you haven't thought about your business or Teamzy today, you got caught up in life, and you get a couple of messages from your success partners with their completed Teamzy dashboards. And you're like, shoot, now I got to do mine. But guess what? You'll end up doing it. Does this make sense? This is so powerful. All of my boot camps and trainings we do success partners because it works unbelievably. And how many of you have kids, have raised kids or raising kids? Okay. Isn't it amazing how much you'll do for them? Way more than you do for yourself. That's the way we're wired. We're wired to do more for others. That's why you got to build it into your business. Okay. And then finally, I'm going to give you, oh no, that was all your action steps. Okay, great. So now we're going to, that's probably enough action steps for the day anyways. So you guys got all that. I'm going to open it up for questions. If you have questions, I want you just to unmute and go for it. Ask away. I don't know. I haven't looked at the chat to see if there's any questions there. It looks like it's just good stuff. Okay. So if anyone have any questions or ahas or anything they want to share.
Hi, Eric. I had a question for you, because I send a lot of voice clips in Messenger to customers because they can hear my, my voice, my inflection, that kind of thing. Is there any way we can save a voice clip in Teamzy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've never tried that. I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know.
That would be really awesome if we could,
if you could just paste it in there.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it and I don't know if it does that, but I'll have to test it and see. But what I would say, if it's not there, it's probably not there. I don't think it would be there unless it was intentionally programmed in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check into that. But in the meantime, if you're not able to do it, because you haven't tried it either, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, but you can always just write. You can always just write voice clip and log it in Teamzy.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you go to their messenger or wherever you message them, that voice clip will be there
again. Yeah. That's
most
true.
of the time. So you could just put sent voice clip checking in, and log and go, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Sent VC checking in.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, in my job as a consultant, I had to log everything in the CRM, so it was I always VM, LM,
right.
That kind of stuff.
Shorter the better.
Yep.
So anybody else have any questions?
I have a question. So if you're doing the, like, say, monthly, I've had Teamzy probably over a year and I don't use it. I'm naughty. But if you want to switch and then switch it to pay yearly,
yep,
can you go in and do that?
Yeah, it's really easy to do. You can go in and do it yourself. You just have to cancel the monthly and then start an annual. And what it'll do is let's say you're paid through the month. Let's say you still have 2 weeks to go in your month that you're prepaid. It'll bill the annual when that time period's over.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like when it expires, it'll bill the other. Or you can just send a note through the help button on the bottom of Teamzy that says, can you please switch me to annual? We'll do it for you.
Okay.
Whatever's easiest for you. It just depends on if you're a self-service kind of person or you'd like us to take care of it. But I hope tonight has inspired you to get into your Teamzy account and start using it. Because I thank you and my family thanks you for your support of our business. But the whole point is to help you to be successful.
To use it. Yeah. Jody knows we're an accountability group and I talk about, I'm going to do Teamzy. And then the next time I'm going to do Teamzy.
Well, Jody did one of my boot camps, and one thing that may help you, Kelly, is the additional accountability of getting into a boot camp program, or one of our leadership programs, so that you're involved with a group really focused on Teamzy, and it seems to work better. People always say, I can't believe I have to pay you to build my business, but it seems to work better when you put a little skin in the game. It's like the accountability of, I spent money on this, I need to do it. So just keep that in mind. Oh, and I did promise to tell you guys about our lead program at the beginning of this call. So let me just throw that in there and hold your questions. Don't give up on them. I'll answer them in a second. But it's going to be next week, you guys. If you follow Teamzy or if you're in our email chain, you'll start seeing. I'm going to be releasing some of these videos that I made today about this program that's coming up. But we've been doing the boot camp program for 3 years now, and it's been really successful. The boot camp is specifically helping people to master the basics of relationship marketing and crushing their Teamzy every day, right? And so we've been leading people through that boot camp program. But what we've been longing to do is a leadership training. And this is a huge passion of myself and my business partner, Mike Lopez, who was my boss for many years, who's, I think, the greatest leadership person pretty much ever. Like, he's up there with everybody, in my opinion. We've been wanting to do this leadership training program, and specifically for network marketing. Again, as outsiders who haven't been raised in the way we do things around here in network marketing, right? Mm-hmm. And so we built out this program. It's a 4-week training, and it's similar to boot camp in that it's a group of people. We have you in a private Facebook group with accountability partners and whatnot. But it's a soup to nuts leadership program where we start with the philosophy of heart-centered leadership, and we take you through all the how-tos. I mean, like today, I gave you guys the 4 C's of building trust, but in leadership, it's 7, right? So we go way more in depth. And then for each one, you'll get like 1 or 2 or 3 systems that you could choose to implement into your business to build those things out. So keep an eye out for that. It's really cool. We did launch this in February. We ran it in February, and it was really successful. I got really great results from people. People just messaging me saying that that was their favorite thing ever. So if you guys are at a point where you want to build your leadership for your team, either that exists or that you're planning on building, take a look at it. You guys will get a lot of value out of that. I feel like, and I had a little rant at the beginning of this, probably because I just got off making this video. I feel like we have a leadership problem, and many of us are waiting for a leader to come in on the white horse to solve our problems, and we need to become the leaders, right? We need to become the leaders. And for those of us who feel like, I'm not sure if I'm that type of person, I'm not sure if I'm a leader. It's a muscle that is worked out, right? It's not. Leaders aren't born leaders. I mean, some people are better naturally at some things than others, but leadership is something that is learned and developed and intentional. Does that make sense? So I just, I'm excited for that. So I just want to throw that out there, and just keep that. Oh, this is the thing I wanted to promote. I want you guys to know is I am doing a free webinar on September 7th. That'll be 7:00 Central for you guys. Free webinar September 7th, and it's going to be on leadership. We'll start emailing that to everybody, but mark the calendars, let your team know. That one will be free. And you guys will, if you liked this, you'll really like that webinar. Okay.
All right. And okay, just so we don't say we miss it in email, because we all get, the news, right? If I read every email I got every day, I'd do nothing but read email. Obviously, I mean, and my Gmail categorizes everything, and I can guarantee you if it goes in promotion or the social media file, I'm not even touching it, right? So let
me give you the link right now. I'm going to put it in the chat.
All right. Yes, thank you. Perfect.
I actually it's perfect timing because I just right before this call I made the link. Okay, it says I copied it. Let's see.
There we go. All right.
There's the link to register. Okay, so no, I hear you, Jody. I have to create new email accounts and just abandon old ones. They get too crazy, too crazy full.
I hear you on that. Goodness, yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely crazy. I started a Proton Mail account because that one's encrypted, and so other people can't find the address, right? Like to send me spam emails,
right?
So my wife's like, what is this email account? I go, well, that's where I'm giving now for important stuff, so I can actually find it. Okay, so any other questions?
Save that. Copy and save that right now while we're at it. Okay, anybody else have any more questions? I want to respect your time, Eric. You've been wonderful.
Okay, well, I will get this recording to you probably tomorrow, Jody, so you can share it with everybody else. But I appreciate the opportunity. I hope this was helpful. The bottom line is I'm happy to spend this time with you guys. I think of every single person as family that uses Teamzy. My kids and I, we pray for you guys every night. Honestly, like we pray for our Teamzy family every night. Like this is, we hope that we can be, you know, a major part of your success story, more than just a software that you use. That's why I spend so much time trying to share the heart. I want to have an army of people, not just using the software, but using it with the right heart and really changing our industry for the better. So I hope that that came through tonight. I hope we'll see you guys in our Teamzy family. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jody, for setting it up. God bless you guys. Have a great night.
Eric, thank you so
Bless you.
much.
Eric, you've
Thanks.
been amazing. Thank you. Thank you. You do share your heart, and we love that, because we are people with heart. And, you know, we don't want just a dry blah, blah, blah. You know, this is why Teamzy works, is because of the way you build it. And thank you for that. You're amazing.
Thank you, Sam. I
Amen.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Eric.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Eric.